Welcome to the finale of this classic championship. You can see by the thumbnail and the title, it is down to Charles Leclerc and ourselves to win this classic championship. It's going to be a very intense 2 races for both of us to clinch the championship. We both want to win this really hard. I mean, Leclerc's got 4 wins. I have 3. It's going to come down to we need to win this race. Put Charles Leclerc on the back foot and take it to Japan and hopefully just maintain ahead of him. The only thing is, what we need to bear in mind is if we win here and Charles Leclerc wins in Japan, that's going to be it. That's going to be it done. But nonetheless, we are underway and we get off to a fantastic start. We look to cover off Charles Leclerc a little bit, but his engine just kicks in. Schumacher's already gone around the outside of Leclerc. There goes Giovinazzi, Kobayashi too. We're down to 5th place and we're just going to disgustly dive all of the Ferraris. They're all kept busy by themselves, so we go from 5th to 1st in 1 corner, which is a dream start for us and not a dream start for Charles Leclerc, who looks to be down in P4 behind Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher. We're going to have to see what happened with the Monegasque driver. The lights go out, he does an adjustment on the steering wheel and he just gets off to such a slow start. He obviously gets farther ahead than we do because of the engine, but there goes Schumacher, and any second now we should see Giovinazzi pop down his inside. There's the front wing of Giovinazzi, there's ourselves, and yeah, Leclerc's just going to lose out to both of the Ferrari drivers, which is weird because usually Ferrari are very specific about their championship winning driver. Usually they end up being let through if they feel that they could lose the championship. Leclerc is pulling up to the back of Giovinazzi, about to come up to Ascari, and it looks like he's going to make an easy pass into the Ascari. Leclerc goes straight through. I'm not sure if he let him through, but Giovinazzi didn't put up much of a fight, but he's got quite a bit of ground to gain on ourselves. We've got Mick Schumacher, who's going to have a look at us, trying to make our race even more difficult for ourselves. We almost go into the back of the German driver. We're going to make it nice tight apex, give him a bit of space, but we do manage to stick ahead of Mick Schumacher. Now Leclerc is going to be in hot pursuit of us. He's not too far. He's actually up the gearbox of Mick Schumacher, so Leclerc's going to need to make a move if he wants to hold on to this championship and take it into Japan. We're doing what we need to do, but right now we've got 2 very fast F2004s. Schumacher's going to go around our outside. Leclerc's going to try and follow him. We're going to hold our line into the Ascari chicane. We're going to put Schumacher on the back foot, and I just really hope that that does not promote Charles Leclerc up into P2. And we're actually on board with the Monegasque driver now. He's going to go to the right hand side of Schumacher and he's going to take P2, and he is not all that far away from us, so we have essentially just gifted Charles Leclerc P2 in this race, giving him an extra 2 points, which is not what we wanted to do, but we didn't want to lose too much position. But just look at all 6 of them Ferrari cars are just chasing me down. We've actually got a little bit of tussling going on in the background between Schumacher and Giovinazzi, but nonetheless Charles Leclerc has made up to P2, so this is going to be a very tense 2.5 laps round this Italian circuit. You'd expect Ferrari to win. We set a fastest lap, but Charles Leclerc just absolutely smashes it. He's on a mission, and this is the first time all season it's been us head to head with the Monegasque driver, hoping to actually win. We've got Sam Bird in the McLaren MP423. He's made some minor improvements. He's been driving really well recently against the rest of the field. He's appeared in a few races so far, and he's actually going to make a move on an RB6. And if you guessed it, you're probably right. It was Sean Galeo who got overtaken. But coming on to the last lap, here comes Charles Leclerc like a speeding rocket down the start-finish straight. We're going to go down his inside, just like we did to Schumacher. We're not going to give him as much space because we don't want him to go past whatsoever. We're going to come out just ahead of the young Ferrari driver. We're going to hold on as best we can. We're going to make our way down to the Ascari chicane. Now he's got 3 opportunities. One's here, one's down the back straight, and then coming out of Parabolica is going to be Charles Leclerc's best opportunity. Here he comes. The arrow goes to the right. It's turned red. Here comes Charles Leclerc. He doesn't get as close to us as I thought he would. I assumed he'd probably get a little bit closer, but that can only mean that he got a bit of a better run out of the chicane, and he's going to trouble us tenfold. So we're going to move to the right hand side. He goes around our right hand side. He's just flown past us. Schumacher's going to challenge us. We're going to have to dive down into the final corner past Charles Leclerc, and we're just going to have to cross our fingers and hope our engine can carry us across the line. Charles Leclerc's on his way. It's going to be very close. We'll pull to the right, and we just about stay ahead of Charles Leclerc to take our 4th win of the season. So we are on level wins with Charles Leclerc. He's absolutely smashed it in the pole positions, but let's have a look how close this was. He actually had to let off the accelerator a little bit. I think we might have had him covered, but I don't want to risk it. It's not worth the risk, but we managed to take our 4th win of the season in this championship, which is it's fantastic. But the only issue with that is I don't know how Japan's going to play out, because we've got a 4-point lead, so that's essentially a 1st and 2nd. But again, if Leclerc wins in Japan, then we lose purely on countback. But Ferrari have smashed it even more. We're nowhere near them. There's nothing else we can do about that in terms of constructors. It's well out of our hands. But Pierre Gasly is hoping to do a bit more of a solid job than he has been doing. Of course, there is Charles Leclerc, pole position again. So Leclerc has taken his 8th pole position in this championship, 8 out of 12 races. Absolutely solid job from the Monegasque driver. You can't complain. We're sat in P2, ready for this title fight. It could go either way. We're waiting for the 5 lights to go out, and we are underway. We get off to an amazing start. Charles Leclerc is really slow off the start. There goes Pierre Gasly. It's going to be a Red Bull 1-2 coming into turn 1. Leclerc looks like he manages to maintain P3 after such a shocking start. He had such a poor getaway from the start lights. We're going to have to see how bad that was. It looked really bad from our onboard, but initial getaway is really good. But all 3 of the Ferraris on the left-hand side of the circuit didn't get away. Like, all the Red Bulls just flew off the start, especially Pierre Gasly. And yeah, Charles Leclerc just had no answer to the starts of us Red Bulls. But we aren't going to complain. We're in P2. We would win the championship by 6 points, but obviously that's not exactly what we want. We've got a bit of carnage up the back, and I believe that's between Juan Pablo Montoya and Esteban Gutierrez. So Gutierrez is in the barrier, but we're going to continue on to lap 1, and we're going to have to make a move on Pierre Gasly at this opportunity if we can. We're going to dive, we're going to bang tyres. We're like, hello Pierre, you need to let us through, buddy. We're fighting for the championship, mercy, and hopefully he can hold off Charles Leclerc as best as he can. We probably lost a little bit of time overtaking like that, but I have faith that we can actually hold on to 1st and 2nd for as much as we can. Speaking of that, there goes Charles Leclerc past Pierre Gasly, and Leclerc's going to go round us before we even reach 130R. Now this is an issue if that Ferrari is that quick down that back straight, but we're going to hug the inside apex of the 2nd to last corner, and we're just going to have to pray that we can actually get good traction out of this corner, because if the Ferrari is that quick down the back straight, then we're going to have some issues. We're moving on to another lap, and you can see we're going to go side by side down the start finish straight. He's already passed us. It looks like we're going to be challenged by a Ferrari, but we're going to hug the inside line, and look at our closing speed and our corner speed on this RB6. It is ridiculous compared to that of the F2004. But here we go again. We've got Charles Leclerc, who's looking to make a move. We've got Giovinazzi down inside, and Giovinazzi actually goes a little bit wide, but he takes the position ahead of Charles Leclerc. Giovinazzi with a gutsy move to take that position off of ourselves, but somehow we managed to not make any contact. It was absolutely ridiculous. We've got Barrichello and Kobayashi, and Kobayashi is round, and he is definitely in a position you don't want to be around this corner. All the cars managing to make it round his outside. Somehow got an R26 of Sergei Sorokin, actually up at 3 positions now. The R26 is split in the F2007s, but nonetheless, we need to get back to the main action. We have got Giovinazzi going to have a move on us now. You can see we moved to the left hand side very late, just to try and maintain and put Giovinazzi off as much as we can, but we do the same to what we did to Charles Leclerc, just chuck it down his inside. We have the grip on this car to be able to do that, but Charles Leclerc not where he wants to be right now. Giovinazzi is the cork in the bottle, if you want, holding him up just a little bit. But here he goes again, round 130R, and we're going to dive down the inside, and hopefully we're not going to struggle, because we're going to have 3 Ferraris all on our tail, all 3 of them. Our teammates are too far away, but we're going to have Giovinazzi, Leclerc and Schumacher all going to be hungry for this first place position. We're going to start lap 4. They're going to go side by side with us, and they're going to pinch us off just like they did in Singapore to Verstappen. They're going to go side by side, and we're going to chuck it down the inside of both of the Ferraris, and we're going to retain P1 ahead of I believe it's Charles Leclerc, who is ahead. You can see Mick Schumacher on board. They're just going to pinch us and Schumacher actually had to get out of the throttle just a little bit, which I don't blame him, to be honest. I'm pretty sure I would as well. So Mick Schumacher does retain P4. We're going to have a replay from our on board. They just go side by side and they just almost take us out. We got I think we got a little bit of damage to our front wing from that incident, which it's understandable considering everything that happened. But here comes Charles Leclerc. We're going to go side by side. We're stuck in his car. We almost put him in the wall. Giovinazzi's going to go between both of us. So Giovinazzi's getting really stuck in to this championship fight between ourselves and Charles Leclerc. We got stuck in his car. We both almost ended up in the wall, and that certainly would have been a horrible end to this championship. But luckily we're continuing. You can see here we moved to the right hand side. We're just stuck, and the second we realised we're stuck, we moved to the left hand side to make sure nothing untoward happens. But Giovinazzi again making that move on Charles Leclerc, which is ridiculous. But here's Mick Schumacher, who is behind Charles Leclerc, the championship rival to ourselves. And Mick Schumacher's actually got a good run on Charles Leclerc. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like Mick Schumacher's actually fed up of this fight. He's actually going to make a move on Charles Leclerc. So Mick Schumacher has had enough of what's going on there. We're battling with Giovinazzi ahead. He's going to go into Giovinazzi a little bit, but regardless of that, Mick Schumacher is going to take P2. Now that could definitely spell drama. We're stuck on Giovinazzi, and we're actually going to go a little bit sideways. This is exactly what happened ahead of the Mick Schumacher part. So Schumacher is going to take P2, and Giovinazzi P3 ahead of Charles Leclerc. So they've really screwed Leclerc over at this point. You can see we got stuck on Giovinazzi, very similar to how we got stuck on to Charles Leclerc. And Schumacher, I think it was last race as well. But on the last lap, Leclerc is still in P4. They haven't let him through. They haven't been able to challenge us this lap because Schumacher's holding them up with that damage. But we're going to come through the final few corners, and it's been one hell of an exhausting race. But we're going to come home, and we're going to take the Classic Championship in very close fashion. We had an amazing battle with Charles Leclerc this season, and this episode in general. This has been one of the most heated episodes. I've actually had to deal with Charles Leclerc. Like, he is ridiculously fast, consistent as anything, and he's absolutely almost mopped the floor of us that race if we didn't get ahead of him into turn 1. But you can see a 9-point gap in the end. That was all down to how it ended up the last race, but Ferrari absolutely smashed. They're only 15 points behind on constructors, so not ideal, but we definitely had a solid race, solid season, I would say. And there we go. That's what we want. We won that gold star. There's actually an 11-point gap, so I can't actually do maths apparently. So yeah, we managed to get the gold star. Giovinazzi split our two teammates of Gasly and Lin, and then obviously Sean Galea made it into the top 10. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this championship. It has been really fun to record. The next one I've already pre-recorded. It's good. I'll see you then. Bye bye.